Welcome to the Friday Reload number 28. Top headlines this week are how to make more money as a freelancer, complete list of conversion rate optimization techniques, the science of storytelling, and of course, much more. Now, what we aim to do with the Friday Reload is get you caught up on what you might have missed in the week. We hand curate the best posts, news, and videos of the week to deliver them to you on a beautiful silver platter. Now, this is for the week of November 14th, 2014. So doubling up on the 14s there, 11, 14, 14. Very fun. And for those of you who listen to the Friday Reload, I would highly suggest that you go to the blog digitaltriggers.io/FR28. Friday Reload 28, abbreviated to FR28. So that's digitaltriggers.io/FR28. On the blog, you can easily download, and you'll find it right under the cover image, you can easily download a PDF file of this week's Friday Reload. Now, the reason why you should do that, there's a lot of great images in this Friday Reload. We have different ads, we have different landing pages, it's jam-packed with images, and obviously I can only describe an image to you so well. So head on over to the blog, download your copy of the PDF, and that way you can later check it out, see all the images, and you'll have all the links to be able to check out the articles and tools. So, that being said, without any further ado, not much news this week. The main headline is that Twitter introduced a new small business planner. So this is a mobile app full of tactical guidance for small and medium businesses in North America, the UK, and Ireland. Now, using this app, you can do a few different things. For example, browse a daily calendar, which is themed around 4 main topics: tweet suggestions, Twitter ad strategies, information on Twitter tools, and exclusive events. You can add relevant topics to your own agenda, which actually syncs with your own calendar. You can also access additional resources such as research, success stories, blogs, articles, and ebooks. And you're the first to know when the new Small Goes Big initiatives are launched. Now, Twitter's making a push, man. I mean, you've got to respect what Twitter is doing. In the same way that Facebook was just a laughing stock, when the whole IPO thing happened and Facebook marketing's really come around, Twitter is making a lot of similar moves. So for those of you that are maybe tweeting currently, I would say definitely check this out. It'll probably make your life easier and better. If you're not tweeting already, well, hey, this probably isn't going to be enough to push you over, let's be honest. But it's worth looking into and checking out. Really, you want to know where your customers are. If you have a lot of customers on Twitter, guess what? You should be there. If most of your customers are on Facebook or YouTube, then it's okay to focus more of your efforts there. I'm all about focus and completely okay with that. So now we're going to move into our headlines. Gotta say, I love this image, and Client Flow, man, they do great with the images. So this is how to make more money as a freelancer. So it kind of focuses on the operational side and positioning yourself and it also details really how you can optimize your business, your quote-unquote freelancing business, to get better results. So they say in this post, we cover ways you can effectively optimize your business to close more projects and make more money. Now, the quick outline: stop calling yourself a freelancer. And there you go on the branding and positioning aspect. Next up, creating winning aspects. Then they say stop charging and don't charge hourly. Next, they say charge for project management. Outsource when you're booked. Communicate quickly. Iron out the details, get a deposit, and be a real business. So it's almost like how to go from being a joker to a real business. I jest, but there's a lot of good things here, just about how to handle projects, how to handle the billing side. I mean, in a perfect world, right, we wouldn't have to deal with those things as much, but that's part of the process. That's part of what we have to deal with. So if you're freelancing currently, check it out. If you do any kind of client or service-based work, still check it out because there's a lot of good tips in here. Next up, we have a design beauty and a massive list. I would say looking at this post, you really don't think it's going to be as huge as it ends up being. So Brian Dean from Backlinkio says, this is the most comprehensive list of conversion optimization techniques on the planet. So this extensive list covers over 100 techniques depending on your individual conversion goals. What I really love is the ability to select by techniques what you want to optimize and conversion rate optimization best practices. So, for example, you can choose techniques such as list building, e-commerce, or SaaS and web apps. You can choose if you want to optimize the copy, design, call to action, pricing, or funnels, and then you can also turn on or turn off the CRO best practices. Now, I'll just give you a quick scroll through so you can see how daunting it is. Yeah, wow. I would highly recommend checking this out, but make sure to use these options and select a few of them, because if you don't, get rid of some of these, you're going to be overwhelmed by this. So whatever it is that you're focused on, maybe it's list building, for example, and you want to make your funnels better, your call to action, keep those open and check out those tips. All right, now next up, we have local visibility system, and they make a case for 10 reasons why you should get a Google Business View photo shoot. So they say that since 2010, Google has let business owners hire a Google trusted photographer to come to their store or office, take a bunch of photos, and splice them together in a virtual tour. That tour is called Google Business View. The walkthrough tour and photos get uploaded to your Google Places page. You can also feature them elsewhere, like on your website or Facebook page. You can't get a Google Business View photo shoot if you are a service area or home-based business, though. Now, here are 10 reasons why you should get a Google Business View shoot. And I will bring up quickly that Airbnb noticed when they started taking professional photos of their locations, they increased bookings a ton. Now, it doesn't surprise me because, hey, you don't want to book a hotel. You want to see especially a home. Like, do you want to book my house right now? If I told you I lived in a 2-2 condo, would you want to book it? No, you'd want to see what it looks like. In the same way, if a 3-2 bedroom house or a 1-1 flat, it's all about the looks. So that is for hotels. But I think the point is still there that good photos and knowing what you're getting into makes a difference, especially if you have a restaurant, a cafe, or any other kind of local business. Being able to see inside the business lets me go, okay, I know they have their ish together, and this is a place I might want to check out. So that being said, number 1, potential customers, clients, or patients want to know what your place looks like. If it's a nice environment, it can be a selling point. But even a dingy little hovel can have a certain charm, and it's usually wise to let people know what they're in for. Think about expectations. It's good to set expectations. Number 2, the photo shoot may encourage people to click through to your places page or website. It shows up in your knowledge graph and in the Maps tab. Photos don't hurt. Number 3, it may be a ranking factor. So trusted photographer Jeff Finkelstein explored that possibility in a Mo's post last year, and he offered some good insights in a follow-up post. Now, their guess is that a Google Business View photo shoot by itself is at most a very minor ranking factor, but it can help you get more rankings indirectly because it can get more people to click, and Google knows when someone clicks. Just a hunch, which makes sense. If your click-through rate increases, guess what? That's going to increase your Google ranking as well. Now, number 4, the see inside view is front and center when you view the Google Places page on a smartphone, even more prominent than on a desktop. Number 5, you can embed the photo shoot on your site. Number 6, hey, you get 10 professionally taken still photos. Number 7, it's smart to use someone else's time to take photos. This saves time because you're going to obsess over whatever photos you take. Number 8, you can reuse the still shots elsewhere on your site and on your non-Google business listing. You own the photos for good. You can do whatever you like with them. And if you don't have good social media photos, boom, bam, there you go. Number 9, they mention how it can start a good relationship with your photographer. Worth noting. Number 10, they say that Google seems to have plans for Google Business View. It's been around for almost 5 years now, which they say is about 68 in Google product years. It's getting phased in, not phased out. So that means it's going to be around to come and it's on the up and up. Now, bonus, reason 11. This one comes from Greg of jhbathrooms.com. You can send potential customers a link to a specific location within the virtual tour in order to show a specific product or display within email communications. Pretty cool. And David said that there's a Google service called Photosphere. Now, it's an app that lets you take and embed your own panoramas. Those have been around for a while, but this one's from Google. Obviously, you won't get some of the benefits of an official Google Business View photo shoot, but in some ways, it might be a nice do-it-yourself alternative. So, let me check the David comment really quick. Oops. See if he adds any additional insights. Oh, nope. Greg's comment. My apologies. So basically, he repeats what they said in their article, but they do use it for most of their branches on jhbathrooms.com. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, being able to show someone to a specific sink or aspect within the store, I can see how it'd be extremely helpful and beneficial. Now, next up, LKR social media. Someone has figured out the 5 reasons why people share content online. So here they are. Number 1, so they can deliver valuable and entertaining information to other people. So when people share content, they do it so they can improve the lives of other people, whether in a practical way or whether making them laugh. 94% of people carefully think about how the information they share might be useful to a person reading it before they pass it along. Makes sense. I mean, most social updates are basically either trying to make you laugh or trying to provide useful information or bragging. Number 2, to define themselves to other people. That makes a lot of sense. Almost 7 out of 10 people share things specifically for the purpose of cultivating an image or defining and reinforcing their identity. Number 3, to grow and enrich existing relationships. Number 4, to feel a sense of fulfillment. Number 5, to get the darn word out. Now, 7 things that you're going to want to remember when you want more shares. Number 1, sharing is how consumers connect with each other, not you. Number 2, your audience has to trust you rather to want to share you. Number 3, the simpler the better. 4, have a sense of humor. 5, embrace a sense of urgency. 6, engage after the fact. And 7, email is still king. Next up, we have a post from the Daily Egg. So this is Crazy Egg's blog. And they have a post about the science of storytelling, how to stay top of mind with your customers. So first off, they say that attention spans are only 5 seconds long afterwards. But even if, I'm trying to find the links here. I guess that's the average attention span of an internet consumer. That being said, they linked to another study that said how little do users read, and it was 20% of the text in the article. So, do stories increase the perceived value of objects? That's number 1. And we have a fun story here. Yes, they do. Now, this is the Significant Objects Project. It's a story of 2 guys who sold nearly worthless items, purchased for just a few dollars each for thousands on eBay. Most of the items sold for nearly 2,700 times their original value. This is how they did it. Number 1, after the purchase was made from thrift stores and garage sales, each participating writer was paired with an object. Number 2, the writer then spun a fictional story about the object. Note that the aim of the story was not to give an impression that the stories were true. The stories appeared with the author's byline, and most people realized it was a work of fiction. 3, the objects were then listed on eBay, but instead of a description, there were colorful stories about them. One of the items listed, for example, was a Russian figure, and it had a story about a cobbler turned saint and an incident in which his grandmother tells him about the effigies of another saint coming to life on moonless winters. So that figure that was bought for $3 sold for $193.50. Now, buyers knew the stories were fictional, but that didn't stop them from bidding. Also, I would say here, it's not just about perceived value. It's about entertaining. People want to be entertained. That's the reality. So, what do these stories actually do to the mind? A little bit more science here. Now, in a study, let's jump ahead a little bit. The neural changes that we found associated with physical sensation and movement systems suggest that reading a novel can transport you into the body of the protagonist. Pretty interesting, huh? So how does your mind actually figure out what's important? Through encoding or gaining attention, through storage, and through retrieval. Now the best way to gain attention: white space, rich imagery, color and contrast, and then moving backgrounds, as well as typography. Storage, as far as storage is concerned, we put out stuff that can be easily forgotten, and we gain the trust of customers. So basically make your stuff memorable. And then retrieval, convert people into active subscribers, retargeting ads, behavioral advertising, Facebook custom audiences. So stay top of mind. Next up, Lead Pages. They have a free course, which they say is worth a $297 value, on how to generate leads and sales with your own webinar funnel system. So they released the complete course, the webinar funnel system, for free. In it, it's a 10-video course, and they show you how to benefit from the same webinar funnel that they've used to go from 0 to over 25,000 customers in under 2 years. Now, here's what's actually inside the webinar funnel system. Number 1, an introduction to the webinar funnel system. 2 is your vision. Videos 3 through 5 are about Attract, part 1, 2, and 3. Videos 6 and 7 are Engage, part 1 and 2. 8 is the Scoop. 9 and 10 are about Leverage. Now, Lead Pages puts out a lot of quality stuff, so I think it's worth checking out, especially if you are thinking about getting into webinars, and you haven't run them before. Next up, and this is one I really recommend you download the PDF, once again, digitaltriggers.io/FR28. This is about the 7 lessons learned from 567 Facebook ad campaigns in 1 year. So Digital Marketer has created 567 Facebook ad campaigns in the last year. And usually these campaigns contain at least 2 ad sets and 8 different ads. So that's a lot of different ads. That's at least 4,500 Facebook ads in the past year. So in this blog post, they reveal 7 of the best Facebook ads they've created at Digital Marketer and why they outperformed the rest. So the first one is because it had the right message. It is a chalkboard with Ryan Deiss's face, and it says 212 blog post ideas. The next one, and I consider this one to just be a great image, is the Steal Our Swipe file. It's a nice image with the little mouse pointer in the background, kind of in the layered, blurred out background. Next up, number 3, I think this has to be my favorite one. When I saw this in my newsfeed personally, I was like, oh wow, that's just great. This is, I consider it the Know Thy Audience. So it's basically looks like a little football game plan, you know, X's and O's and some lines drawn, and then an email marketing game plan underneath. Now, why does it work? The image, after looking at the demographics for the audience of website visitors that already hit this product's website, so looking at demographics of this product, they noticed that over 90% of visitors were male. It was also late summer, early fall, and football season was starting. So in order to tie in with the game plan, they went with a football field. Number 4 is use blank. So this one is use GetResponse, copy and paste this free email series into your account today. Number 5, closing soon and scarcity. So it's a picture of kind of looks like, I mean, let's just consider it a house, and it's a shed. It's a shed, rather. I apologize. And it is the machine, which is the name of the program. It says closing soon, and it's the shed starting to close down. They say you have to have something like this. It just works too well. For example, they said on this ad they spent $3,000 or so and made about $200,000 back in return, and it's the most profitable 3-day ad they've ever run. Number 6 is their retargeting ad. So this is a picture of Ryan Deiss's head on a little fake body, and it says 1,000 blog subscribers. And it says, enjoy the 212 blog ideas. Take advantage of this special offer and get 1,000 subscribers to your blog in no time. And this is the retargeting ad for the first ad mentioned. And she tries, Molly says that she intentionally tries to keep the ads similar. Why? Because you want them to have that familiarity of remembering the ad before, but still seeing that it's something new. Now, lastly, number 7 And this is a Facebook offer, and this is just a picture of someone on stage in front of a bunch of people holding up their hands. So, moving onwards, we have why did Salesforce succeed? So Dharmesh Saha, co-founder of HubSpot, who just IPO'd, answered a question almost 4 years ago. Now his 10 points about Salesforce success are quite relevant even today. Think about how you can apply them to your own SaaS or traditional business. And this was first seen on Quora. So let me take a sip of water here before I rattle through this one. Number one, they focused on a large market CRM with an incumbent Siebel that had many unhappy customers. Number two, when they started, they disrupted from below. They focused on small businesses, many of whom were non-consumers with simple pricing and low-risk implementations. Classic innovator's dilemma style approach. In the early days, they didn't go after big companies using Siebel. Number three, they had brilliant positioning with their no software mantra and hammered that message into the market consistently over many years. Number four, they built an exceptional sales and marketing machine. Number five, they had big ambitions from the beginning and weren't afraid to bet on their dream. They raised the necessary capital based on the scope of their ambition. Number six, they invested early in making their product a platform so that it was customizable by their customers and third parties. I think this is huge nowadays. You either want to be able to plug into a platform or you want to be the platform. Ideally, you probably want to be the platform. Number seven, they understood both the philosophy and economics of SaaS. Number eight, they were diabolically clever about how they evolved their pricing over time. This included very low-end offerings that minimized the barrier to adoption with two dimensions of growth to capture more value. One, they had a per-seat subscription fee. More users means more revenue. Also, the price per subscriber goes up based on tiers of functionality. The result is geometric growth in revenue driven from their successful customers. 9, last but most important, they recruited exceptional talent across the board. Not just technical talent and product talent, which is what everyone tries to do, but also in sales, marketing, and operations. Lastly, number 10, they solved for scale from the beginning. They understood that if they want to build a multi-billion-dollar company, building a great product was necessary but not sufficient. They needed all the execution machinery around that core product and idea. Next up, we have the 6 awesome examples of high-converting B2B landing pages. The reason why I like this is because I know that sometimes we think that we're in industries that aren't fun. Like some of the products that we're about to jump into for the tool time this week are just fun, right? It's got to be so easy to advertise these things. So these are 6 different landing pages that are working very well. Now this is definitely one of those where you got to see it to believe it, for lack of a better term. So I'll kind of scroll through this real quick for the video users, but for all my audio people, we're going to keep it moving forward. So the next story is 0 to 353 pages, bringing my web book to print and ebook, or how I made the print and ebook versions of my web book. If you've ever wanted to publish your own book, learn everything you could possibly want to know and more. I also include a link to Hacker News, which is where he discussed it and other people discussed it a bit more. I mean, he talks about typeface, logos, just everything you could possibly imagine. If you're, aggressively OCD, or if you just kind of want to know a little bit better top to bottom what the publishing process looks like, this is a great way to do it. All right, tool time. So, first up, we have tools for salespeople. This is an awesome product hunt collection. It's about selling more efficiently and effectively with these useful tools. For example, we have Charlie, which is an app that I actually use, and a few other ones. Check this out. I think this is very relevant to our listeners. I would also say check out the other product hunt collections. We have podcasts, tools, financial tools, kind of funny, Carmelo Anthony's product picks, couch potatoes, startup, learn how to code. I mean, everything you could possibly imagine. Next up, Amazon Echo. So this is a very interesting new product, and this is where the home is getting interesting with Nest and this other Jibbo robot we have coming out. So what is Amazon Echo? It's designed around your voice. So it's always on, and you can ask for information, music, news, weather, and more. It begins working as soon as it hears you say the wake word, Alexa. It's also an expertly tuned speaker that can fill any room with immersive sound. So questions that they have, for example, will it rain tomorrow? Play music by Bruno Mars. Add gelato to my shopping list. When is Thanksgiving? What's the weather in Los Angeles this weekend? Add make hotel reservations to my to-do list. Play my dinner party playlist. Wikipedia, Abraham Lincoln. How many teaspoons are in a tablespoon? Set an alarm for 8 a.m. And voice technology slowly takes over our life. I, for one, welcome it. We also have how to start a startup, the podcast. So I have a link to the podcast. You can also search for it. And this was a Y Combinator Stanford class with arguably some of the best minds out there, all telling you for free how to start a startup. This is good audio, people, and worth listening. I'm surprised, though, it only has 12 ratings. Someone needs to growth hack this podcast. Next up, we have Jawbone Up 3. So with the holidays coming, awesome tech year is also coming. I've heard great things about this activity tracker, and I've been wanting to get an activity tracker, but I haven't found one that really could do it for me. Now, Brian Lovin, who works for Buffer, had this to say. We use Jawbone Up company-wide at Buffer to track our activity and sleep patterns. The whole hardware and software integration is quite smooth, and the UP24's wireless syncing was just the icing on the cake. The new Up 3 looks pretty intriguing. I'm quite happy to see that they're now claiming water resistant up to 10 meters, which will make this a lot less of a hassle for everyday wear, washing dishes, showers, things like that. So, man, what I really like is the sleep tracking. And then they also have things such as Smart Coach. There's a few other out there in the market that have more kind of are focused on the habits building side, which appeals to me. But really, I just want a activity tracker that can also track my sleep. I think that's what I want. Though I am curious, really, I don't know. I'm curious at what else it can really do. But it depends what you're looking for, truthfully. Next up, this is a more normal one. Slideshare announces Haiku Deck for Slideshare. So Slideshare users can quickly and easily create compelling visual presentations and share them directly with Slideshare's community of more than 70 million people through a special integration with Haiku Deck. Check this out at slideshare.net/create. Next up, we have a very cool piece of technology, and this is called Slated. And this is the translating keyboard. So it can replace your keyboard in other apps, letting you converse in another language. You and a friend can both type in a foreign language, even if it's foreign to you both. So this is cool. Me living in South Florida, I have a Cuban girlfriend who obviously speaks perfect Spanish, and as well as English. And I've been, thinking about learning Spanish. I've wanted to learn some other language as well. So I'm curious if I got something like this and I, could at least type what I want to say in Spanish. Would that start to influence, my brain? Would I start to pick it up a little bit? Or do I need to just go heavier with the Duolingo? I don't know. But for those of you that maybe do interact with other people that speak other languages, even on a day-to-day business type aspect, or you're thinking about doing some traveling, heading overseas, I can see this being a very useful app. I think it costs about $3 too. And then lastly, we have Bespoke. So this is a super simple free tool for dynamically changing content. So for example, if you want to have someone's name pop up, whenever they go to a page, or if you want it to say, hey Reddit users, or hey Twitter users, or hey Facebook users, things like that, of that nature. Very, very cool. And they have a few different suggestions. You can use it for PPC, email marketing, or just fun experiments. I could definitely see this potentially boosting conversions quite nicely, just because if I go to a page and it says, hey Twitter users, and I just came from Twitter, how am I not going to pick up on that? Now, hey Sweeney might creep me out a little bit too much. I don't know. Me personally, I don't care about that kind of thing. Other people can be differently. Your move may vary. Next up, we have how to propose annual contracts to your SaaS customers. phone scripts, and email templates. So if you're doing sales and you want people to purchase annual contracts, this blog post is for you. They also have tips at the end on how to address customer objections. Or if you're into sales and you just want to start making some more sales closes, check it out. Next up, we have a broken link, which is always fun. I'm kidding. This one is tiny ad tests that make huge difference. Let me scroll down here to it. So these 5 different tests are display URLs, 2 starting price versus price range, 3 sentence case versus title case, 4 question in your headline, and then 5 keyword DKI. Sadly, I posted a broken link there, but I'll get that one fixed for you guys. Then next, we have 23 data-backed list building strategies from top experts with case studies and experiments. It also contains what is possibly the worst image I've ever seen. I say that with jest. I say that nicely. I really do mean it. I mean, for something that has 668 Twitter shares and is doing pretty well, it's good enough that I'm willing to feature it. Man, he needs a better image here. But hey, we're not all great at everything. So anyways, this is a great list of 23 methods to build your email list further. Now, while some of the methods may be known to you, such as pop-ups and overlays, some may spark new ideas to increase conversion rates from visitors landing on your site. Then we have our honorable mentions. So, how Groove increased their net promoter score by 45%. Boost your Black Friday and holiday sales with these 10 landing page ideas. Developing innovative content, what you need to know. The danger of crossing algorithms. Uncovering the cloaked panda update during Penguin 3.0. Fall of the banner ad, the monster that swallowed the web. In defense of banner ads, everybody hates them, but they work. One major reason why startups still fail to find product market fit. The truth prevails, transparency in crisis communications. Facebook marketing for the holiday season, 10 things to implement now. How to attract the best talent in the world. This is a really cool one by Noah Kagan about how to attract awesome people to your company. Slimming down content on category pages increased sales by 106%. This is e-commerce related. And then this startup built eternal tools to fuel major growth. Here's their approach. And in reference to that e-commerce one, mainly what they did is they brought their products above the fold rather than how they had their product category set up. So that was a heavy reload, a lot of stuff in that one, a lot of good links. It always seems like one week might be weak, the next week's going to be a banger. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, check out digitaltriggers.io/Friday Reload 28, FR28/FR28. And that's where you can download a PDF of the entire Friday Reload, get all the links, check out all the images, check out all the sexy, and send an email back and say hi. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment box. I love chatting with the listeners and the users. Or reach out to me on Twitter @DigTrig. Now, as always, enjoy your weekend, crush your Friday or whenever you listen to this, and you have a good one.